What's up guys and girls, welcome back to another edition of The Cocktail Guy and another in my weekly playlist of classic cocktails versus my riffs. In today's video I'd like to share with you guys the Negroni, a classic cocktail that is to today's drinker what the Cosmo was for the 90s. Quite simply put, this once quiet classic could quite possibly be the it cocktail of today. This equal parts bitter drink of Campari, sweet vermouth and gin has gone from relative obscurity to being the cocktail of the moment and has adorned any self-respecting bar list worldwide. Named after Count Camillo Negroni, who reportedly asked a Florence bartender to make him a stiffer riff of the Americano. This cocktail that was created in the early 20th century has seen a dramatic rise in popularity. In fact, in 2019, it celebrated its centenary anniversary and has even had a week-long party named in its honor, the Negroni Week. So whether you're a gin enthusiast or a tequila lover, or even if you simply prefer to blend your own style of vermouths, there are as many Negroni variations as there are lovers of this Italian classic. So keep watching guys as I share with you just one more, and I look forward to seeing you in the video. For the classic, 3 ingredients, as I said, I'm going to go with equal parts, so 30 mils, 1 ounce of gin. Today I've gone with a gin called Nantwich Gin from right here in the UK in Cheshire. The classic bitter, obviously, Campari. And for my vermouth today, I'm going to be using Antica formula. All we're going to be doing is stirring down this beautiful drink. So we're going to go with 1 ounce of our gin. 1 ounce of Campari, and then 1 ounce of our sweet vermouth. Add some ice. I'm going to stir this down. I'm going to stir for about 60 revolutions, so approximately 20 seconds. Stirring down obviously helps to chill and to dilute. We're going to blend all of these ingredients together. Now I've chosen Nantwich Gin just because I like the savoury notes from the rosemary that's in this, as well as so I get some spicy pink peppercorns as well, so I think really complement the Negroni. Obviously, style of sweet vermouth, you can use your own, but I really like Antica in my Negronis. There we go. All important taste. Oh, I love a Negroni. Okay, and then what we're going to do is we're going to strain this down over a block or cubes of ice in our rocks glass. Look at that. Now, classically, you can garnish this with a wedge of orange if you like. I'm going to go with a zest. Nothing too big. I'm going to discard my zest just because I don't like big garnishes in my drink. I like the aroma. I like the aesthetics. Garnishing for me is window dressing. If it doesn't add anything in terms of not just aesthetics, but also the aroma, I feel it's a bit lost. So I'm just going to zest over the top of the drink, and as always, as I've said before, just around the sides of the glasses where you would pick it up. And there we go. And there is our classic Negroni. Oh, look at that. That is beautiful. Yeah, it's a Negroni. Bitter, sweet, depending obviously on the style of the gin you use. As I said, I'm really liking the savoury notes of the rosemary that I'm getting in this Nantwich Gin. I also like the aromatics of sort of a pepper, I think a pink peppercorn that I get in here as well. Obviously a zestier gin or something, a gin with heavy coriander seeds will give you a light, very nice, light, citrusy, lemony note to it. There we have it, guys. Classic Negroni. I'll see you guys in a second. I'm going to wipe down this station and then we're going to make my riff. Okay guys, and now for my riff. Now we are going to be making it's a chocolate Negroni. There's no point beating around the bush. So I'm taking the classic Italian aperitif and flipped it on its head and made it a digestive. So this cocktail, whilst is great pre-meal at the bar when we return, also at home or in front of the TV, it also makes a great after dinner cocktail as well. So what we're going to do, we're going to infuse our Campari, and what we're going to need to infuse our Campari is some cacao butter, which we have here, and some cacao husks, which we have here as well. Now, for those of you who haven't already seen it, I'll pop a link above for the Bounty Old Fashioned, which I posted the other week. The process that we're going to be adopting to make our infused Campari uses exactly the same process in the Bounty Old Fashioned. Now, in order to do this, what you're going to need to do is over a hob on a low heat, you're going to add a cocktail shaker or a jug or a tall vessel that can handle the heat of the water. You're going to add 125 mils of Campari. Now what's going to happen is when we filter this, you're going to lose a little bit of the liquid due to absorption. So you're going to end up with around about 100 to 110 mils of the infused Campari. So I've suggested using 125 to start with. Add this to your shaker or to your jug. Add in the cacao butter and the cacao husks while still on a low heat. Stir to mix so the cacao butter melts. Leave it to infuse for about 10 to 15 minutes on the hob. Turn off the heat. Remove your shaker or your vessel or your jug, allow it to cool, and then transfer it to a sealable container. Once that liquid is cool, place a lid on top of it, again making sure it's sealed, and pop it in the freezer. You're going to need to put it in for no more than a couple of hours until the cacao butter has frozen, and then you're going to filter it through a coffee filter, and what you end up with is this beautifully infused Campari, which smells just like milk chocolate. So you get the cacao butter, you get the cacao husks. It smells like you've infused your favorite chocolate bar into Campari. I mean, honestly, you could just drink it as it is. It's fantastic. I mean, I won't say that I've drunk the rest of that bottle, but it's not all gone in a cocktail. So that's it. And then we're going to be adding our Campari to our gin and to our sweet vermouth again, stirring it down. Here is my chocolate Negroni. I'm going to start with our gin, as I said, 1 ounce. Gone with the same gin. Sweet vermouth, 1 ounce. And last but by no means least, 35 mils, just over 1 ounce of our infused Campari. There we go. Give it a bit of a mix. Add our ice, obviously, and we're going to stir it down again. There we go. Again, just like the classic, 20 seconds, approximately 60 revolutions. It's important, as I said, as I keep on saying, when we're shaking and stirring, not only are we diluting and chilling, but it's important that we're marrying all these flavors together. I've taken all this time to prepare these ingredients. It's important that we give it the attention it deserves. There we go. It's a chocolate Negroni. It's a genuine chocolate Negroni. Now, obviously, again, the style of gin plays a big importance of this. I haven't tried this with tequila. I am a lover of a tequila Negroni. I haven't tried other gins. However, if you wanted a more lemony or a more citrus forward gin, I would suggest one with a higher ratio of coriander seeds, obviously. Maybe not go for more of a savory gin like I have gone, but just because I prefer the savory notes. Also, if you prefer something that's a little more or even more dominant in chocolate, maybe even reduce the gin. So maybe use 3/4 ounce of gin, 1 ounce of sweet vermouth, and just over an ounce of Campari. So here we go. Here is my glass again. Here is my block of ice. And here is my chocolate Negroni. So it's an aperitif cocktail flipped on its head to become a digestif. I mean, it looks darker and richer in colour. As it poured, I don't know if you noticed it, but it poured thicker as well. Loving the hunk of ice. I mean, that's a meal. It just looks so good. There we go, guys. A chocolate Negroni. I mean, my mic's on my lapel, but I would just drop it and go. That is great. As I said, I went down the wrong way. As I said, try it with a different gin. Obviously, if you don't have the one that I've made this cocktail with, just because I wanted to try it with a more savory gin, try it with something that's a little bit more zesty in its botanicals. Try it with tequila. As I said, if you wanted a little bit more, maybe tone down the gin, bump up the vermouth just so it's a little bit sweeter, or keep the vermouth traditionally as equal parts. Just bump up the Campari. However, alternatively, if you want something that's a little bit more chocolatey, add more cacao butter, add more cacao husks. But again, that's crackering on its own. That's beauty on its own. Okay guys, so there we have it. Another of my playlist, classic cocktails versus my riffs. Classic Negroni versus the chocolate Negroni. I hope you guys like it. Let me know if you have any comments below the post. Give me a thumbs up and give me a like if you do like the content. As always, if you haven't already done so, please do subscribe, and I shall see you guys in the next video. Cheers.